Hey, welcome to the first podcast of CSL. In the past, we've done these if you've been part of our Madden League. Yeah, we do these periodically over the years. It's been getting less and less. It's difficult to coordinate, 3 or 4 people for a podcast. The format is going to be a little different this time. It's just going to be me with a video plan. Try to keep these under 15 minutes. And I just want to go over a handful of things. We do have a few new people, and I think it's important to reiterate who we are as a league just to make sure we're all on the same page and we're all heading in the same direction. For those of you who have read the rules, which I imagine is everybody, we don't have that many. We've deleted a lot of the rules we brought over from Madden for a more open, free-for-all type of experience, though our motto is still sim over win. You should be simulating real football and not anything you see on Ultimate Team or online head-to-head. We are a league that polices ourselves. I'd say about 20 of the people in here have played either in NSL or CSL for a combination of maybe 5+ years. Some guys have been here the whole time, which I believe we are now at 12 years as a league, which is pretty impressive. Some new people here this year. I think we have about 4. So you guys are part of something now that's been going on for quite a while. Hopefully you enjoy your time in the league and you most importantly have fun. So our rule book is not wordy or very lengthy at all. And that's because as a commissioner, it gets incredibly frustrating and difficult when you get these people that are reading line by line and, they're complaining about somebody who maybe infracted a rule, very small one, or, twisting it. And, everything is situational in football. We have a rule, for fourth downs, it's don't be a dick. Now, what does that mean? We've all watched football for years. We know when a team should and should not go for it on fourth down. If it's the first quarter is 0-0, you're on your own 30, it's 4th and 7, that should be a punt 100% of the time. If you want to do a fake punt, once a season, go for it, try it. But you should not be putting yourself in positions to where we have to go in and, determine whether or not it was sim. If you're at the 50-yard line and it's 4th and 3 and, the game is close or maybe it's getting out of hand and you're losing, yes, go for it by all means. If it's 4th and 1 on your own 25, teams go for it. Doesn't mean you should go for it every time in that situation, every game. Some games you're going to punt that away and play field position. That's what coaches do. Don't make us have to go in and, print out rules. If we do that, we're just going to kick you out of the league. You're not a right fit. Last year had very little issues. People self-police. You respectfully talk to your opponent like, hey, man, that's not something you would see week to week in college football. We've had a couple complaints already as of week 1 of quarterbacks throwing on the run, out of the pocket. Plays like that do happen. They should be very rare. FSU, he had a quarterback, had a little bit of pressure, rolled out of the pocket, set his feet, rolled out some more to the sideline, set his feet, threw diagonal 50, 60 yards to the other numbers across the field. Plays like that should be extremely rare. They shouldn't even be once a game. Maybe once or twice a season. You should not be looking for those and making a living off of them. DJ Lagway rolling out, throwing dimes on the run. He's the best player in college football. There are penalties to throw on the run. I know they are negated by abilities. But, if he can make that play, let him make that play. It's a very difficult throw. If you want to stop it, maybe throw a blitz on that side, maybe contain, maybe run stunt blitzes where the tackle is going around, such as pirate. You know, there's lots of ways to counter things, and that's kind of always been our thing. We allow open gameplay for things that there's clear counters to. So you may have to hop into practice mode and learn how to contain, you know, the Michael Vicks of college football. That's something that, you know, you have to figure out how to do. So hopefully everybody is able to restrain themselves, play in a sim way, and, you know, be respectful of your opponent at all times. And I think 90% of us can do that every single week. So the people that can't, they're going to find themselves rooted out of here pretty quickly. And when I get complaints every week of the same thing over and over and over, probably not going to last. All right, on to our next thing. The sliders, I know the CPU is extremely difficult. It was like this last year in the first few weeks. I am being more aggressive and changing some things such as QB accuracy for the CPU pretty quickly. I know that they're throwing, you know, for 85% completion rate or something crazy. And these are FCS schools. These are your lower tier CPU schools I've seen. So, you know, stick it out. We're all playing the same type of games. We're all playing CPU. We all see it. I just don't want to adjust things extremely fast. I think right now QB accuracy is at 40. After advancing to week 3, we should be at 30, and it'll probably end up at 20 again, just like last year. So just give it some time. I'm taking feedback into account, and I'm looking at stats across the league. You know, I'm not turning a blind eye to it. So just bear with me. You know, give me your input. Bring it up in main chat. You know, what you're seeing, what you think we can improve on. The main thing is I want everybody to enjoy this league while keeping the CPU competitive. You know, pretty much everybody last cycle by season 3 was handily beating the CPU by multiple touchdowns. So it's going to take a couple recruiting classes, you know, just learning the game. But we don't want it to be so easy where it's not rewarding and it's not fun and it's not competitive. So, you know, you are going to have rough games. You know, I just had one versus Mississippi State. I also suck at the game, so, you know, take that for what it is. Yeah, that's what we've got. We should be getting into the meaty part of our user games here. Probably this advance or the advance on Monday night, which is week 4. So we're getting a lot of these FCS games out of the way. I know stats are kind of crazy right now. There's like a few people that have already thrown for 1,000 yards in 2 games. Well, they played nobodies, you know. DJ Lagway has thrown for 941 yards, 12 touchdowns. He's played nobody. So I expect those numbers to kind of level out and go down, you know, as he has to play some actual SEC school soon. Also, a lot of these guys are getting overused, and wear and tear is going to start catching up to them. Lagway, for example, -1 speed, -2 throw on the run already. Once these bigger SEC guys start game planning versus him, hitting that quarterback, sacking him, he's going to get worn out pretty quick. And he's probably going to want to get away from Gator. He's probably going to want to transfer somewhere else, you know, to an actual good program. Got Nussmeier pretty much leading the nation in completion percentage right now. He's at 81% on 85 attempts for 882 yards. It's pretty good. With an almost 2 touchdown to interception ratio. So that should go up. I think he's going to start hitting his groove soon. man, Eugene Wilson, wide receiver for Florida, he's having a really good season so far. 394 yards already with 6 touchdowns with 20 catches. He is a pretty fast player at 94 speed, so don't let him go over the middle and catch something on you. He's going to burn you. Hopefully, a lot of you guys are getting, to do some new things in this game. For a while, the game's been pretty stagnant, and by the game, I mean just football games in general. But now we've got some new defensive features, which are pretty cool. We've got stunt blitzes, which are patched now. We've got pass blocking, which is just last couple years. That's pretty nice to mess with. We've got formation subs are back in the game, so you can get guys in the exact spot you want on offense and defense. We've got gadget players, which are pretty cool. You can throw those guys in pretty much every formation. But yeah, we've got a lot of stuff to look forward to in this game. They've done multiple, updates already. We just got our first title update, but they've had 2 small patches right before that. So I think season 1, before we even hit the halfway point, they're going to have most of these bugs worked out. I don't foresee some of the gameplay issues, at least, lasting, past the first season. Whether or not they fix the, legacy dynasty issues that we're seeing, like drafted players not leaving in the first week of the portal and remaining there until week 2. That was a bug all last year. I foresee them not fixing it, so plan accordingly. It's annoying, but we're all playing on the same, handicap. So just, deal with it, I guess. So, yeah, I'll let this game finish out here. Looks like LSU makes a pretty decent comeback after going down, throwing some uncharacteristic picks to Clemson, who's got an insane defensive line. Peter Woods is no joke. Do not run up the middle on that man. He will eat you in the backfield every time. But yeah, hopefully this is the first of many podcasts I can do. Play some game footage behind me, whatever game was most interesting. Maybe even break down some plays or drives throughout the year. Probably won't do this every week, but maybe once a month I'll find the time to do it. But yeah, peace. Hope you guys enjoyed it.